Undertaker makes his return to Monday Night Raw. You can sense the excitement in my voice, folks. To address Bill Goldberg about their first time ever match this Friday in Jeddah. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Charlotte and Lacey Evans have a god-awful match tonight on Raw. When Charlotte can't bring Lacey Evans to a good match, you know there's a fucking problem. Also, the good old WWE Saudi bait and switch with Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins for the Universal title. What am I talking about? We'll talk about it right here on the podcast. Also, where is Cedric Alexander and the War Raiders? I'm still wondering where everybody is amidst this wild card rule. And why is Alexa Bliss a barista and not a professional wrestler? Hey, honey, please, listen. I told you once, I'll tell you again. Extra caramel on the macchiato, and please make sure there's extra foam. You know, when you drizzle the caramel on the macchiato and the foam is thin, it sinks to the bottom of the fucking cup. You fucking asshole! Right here from Monday Night Raw on Off the Script.
Is this what you want? This fucking foliage? Is this what you want? Mr. Dips? Is this what you want? Me standing in front of EC3 buying designer coats? Is this what you want? Me sitting in some hipster hotel in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, fluffing pillows? Is this what you want? I don't believe this. This graffiti art, the hotels, avocado toast. All I want is a fucking Guinness. An ice cold Guinness. What the hell does that mean? Oh, this is what you wanted. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script.
Imagine that, man. Imagine that. I feel like Montez Ford drinking from my red Solo cup. Congratulations to the Street Profits, by the way, on winning the NXT Tag Team Championships on Saturday night on TakeOver 25. Imagine that. We got to go from that to this. Imagine being USA Network cutting The Undertaker off before he goes into his rest in peace on Bill Goldberg. I don't blame them whatsoever. I couldn't wait to get this show over with myself, and I guarantee you they felt the same way. This show was terrible. This show was terrible.
Oh, but JD, there was a lot of newsworthy things that happened on this show, man.
Let me tell you something, my fellow cretin. A lot of newsworthy things happened on tonight's show, but a lot of newsworthy things does not equate to a good Monday Night Raw. You see, I want you guys to look at me as Morpheus. Morpheus in the first Matrix film. He takes Neo to the Oracle, right? He takes Neo to the door of the Oracle, and he sits outside. I cannot take you in there, Neo. I can only guide you here. I cannot walk you through the door. It is all on you. It is now your time to meet the Oracle before she hands him a baked and what looked to be a delicious oatmeal raisin cookie. See, folks, I am your Morpheus. I can only guide you so far. If you do not understand, then, well, you're shit out of luck. You know, Agent Smith, he'll do away with you. You hear that, Mr. Anderson? That is the sound of inevitability. There you go. There's your analogy for the evening. This is your Monday Night Raw review right here on Off the Script. I don't know what the fuck I watched here, man. This show is full of logic gaps galore. I guess we're giving away fucking United States Championships now. I could have been in the fucking ring, and I could have been the United States champion for all I give a shit tonight. We're giving championships away with no competitive aspect to crowning a new champion. This is how lazy WWE's become. In what world are we living in? Fucking ridiculous. Wait till you hear my rant on this one. Monday Night Raw right here on Off the Script. Took the day off. I didn't feel good. I didn't get a good night's sleep on Sunday night, so I tried to recuperate myself before I had to sit down and watch this fucking atrocity known as Raw. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's both on Twitter and Instagram, by the way. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and turn on that bell for all notifications. And when you hit the subscribe button, you're going to be taken to my channel. You're going to see a bunch of videos there, none of which will include CM Punk Returns or CM Punk in the title. Yes, we all know he would be welcomed back with open arms in both AEW and WWE. But is CM Punk gonna buy my baby daughter diapers? Over here! Masturbate! Castrate! Suffer and succotash! Anyway, gotta get my cheap shots in, man, because I'm a fucking asshole. Patreon.com/JD from NY206, man. Completely optional, and it's the only way to get exclusive content not available on YouTube. By the way, guys, had a few of you ask me, yeah, I know. Yeah, Jesse, I know, bro, I know. Please. I know you're gonna text me. I know. Had a few of you ask me on social media tonight where the audio versions of the podcast are for the last 2 weeks. I only did one show in Vegas that is upload worthy for the Spotify and iTunes versions, and I didn't do this week's yet. So you guys are going to get all that by the end of the night. Don't worry about it. It's there, and we'll continue back on a regular schedule for the next weekend's show. If you guys missed any of my videos this week, man, thank you guys so very much for all of your support on Off the Script. Almost 90,000 views. The Jon Moxley Off the Script, just dissecting that, did over 50,000 views, man. It's unbelievable. Thank you guys so very much for all that. We talk about Stephanie McMahon, and tonight they rendered her comments pretty useless. Don't even know why the fuck she showed face on social media doing what she did. It made absolutely no sense. We went over that in part 2. NXT TakeOver did over 30,000 views for a TakeOver special. That is phenomenal, man. Thank you guys so very much for that. And anything else you might have missed on the channel, it is all there for you. Click the link above in the eye. Drop it down. Everything you need will be right there. This podcast is brought to you by Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Did you guys know that podcasts and audiobooks are the future? If you have not already figured that one out, podcasts and audiobooks are the future. A lot more people are listening to audiobooks and podcasts to pass the time, whether you're at home, whether you're on the go to work, coming home from work, no matter what you're doing, man. You could be shopping the supermarket, and you could be listening to me or an audiobook. It doesn't really matter. I do it. Everybody does it. And Audible wants to make sure that you experience Audible for 30 days free. And you can certainly do that by using our unique link, audibletrial.com/offthescript. You're going to get 30 days free of their service. And once you sign up, it's completely free. You will not be billed. You're going to get a free audiobook of your choice just for signing up. Here's the best part. If you feel like you just want to support the show and you have no interest in Audible, you can cancel in 30 days. You can cancel on day 1. You can cancel on day 7. You can cancel on day 30. If you cancel within the 30-day grace period, you still get to keep your audiobook for free. Again, audibletrial.com/offthescript. They've been with me for over 2 years, going on 3 years now, and they've been a fine sponsor and a great friend right here on Off the Script. This atrocious Monday Night Raw opened up with, I'll leave you one guess. Was it the War Raiders? Was it a Ricochet? How about the Tag Team Champions? If you said none of them, you are correct. How about Roman Reigns? You would be correct. And I'm a man that has simple tastes. I'm a simple man, folks. When I see Roman Reigns on my channel, when I see Roman Reigns start a show, when I see Roman Reigns in the middle of the show, when I see Roman Reigns in the main event, I reach for the remote control and I change the channel. That's exactly what I did. Live. I actually had to go back on DVR and watch whatever the fuck transpired here for podcast purposes. But Roman Reigns starting a show is the easiest way to kill the momentum of said show. I don't know why this is still ongoing. I really don't understand who is interested in Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon. I understand that they got to sell this fucking god-awful storyline, but this is just terrible. And the wild card rule, I mentioned this on social media tonight. They mentioned it right from the outset. Corey Graves mentioned it. The wild card rule in full effect. What wild card rule? It's the same fucking people every single week, switching Monday Night Raw to SmackDown Live and vice versa. Is it the wild card rule or the Roman card rule? Seems like WWE more and more every single week. They couldn't fucking get over themselves. They couldn't bear to see Roman Reigns on SmackDown exclusively. So they gotta ruin Raw and SmackDown and make the shows feel the same every single week, with Roman appearing on both shows. Because one show wasn't enough. A ratings killer. I don't give a fuck what else is happening on TV. He is a ratings killer. He opened the show, and before he said anything, out comes Shane McMahon. So he spared us, at least for a little bit, Roman Reigns speaking into the microphone. Shane danced. He had Mike Rome do the over-the-top announcement of his name. So Shane explained what he's going to do to Reigns, including making Reigns tap out to his triangle choke for the first time ever in his career. Now, I thought about this, and I asked myself, is it really the first time ever that Roman Reigns would have been tapped out by anybody in WWE? That's a pretty staggering stat, if you ask me. And then I got my brain cells working, and of course I'm being logical in the way that I'm thinking, and I'm asking myself, out of all the people Roman Reigns has been in the ring with, and in all the times that Roman Reigns has wrestled, he's never tapped out, but now, out of all the people, of all the times, they're using this as a way to sell this match. Shane McMahon is the one right now being talked up in hopes of tapping out Roman Reigns for the first time ever. I don't know whether to fucking laugh or just completely stop watching altogether. Shane McMahon, they're touting as a possibility to tap Roman Reigns out for the first time ever. Jesus Christ, man. They are dipping into the bottom of the fucking cookie jar and nothing is coming out. There's nothing but fucking cockroaches at the bottom of that motherfucker. Seriously. So, Reigns looked on. He laughed, just like I'm laughing at this fucking segment. Shane says he'll refuse to release the hold because Shane McMahon's triangle choke is so devastating. He'll refuse to release the hold to a point that his eyes come bulging out of his head. Every time Vince McMahon makes an illogical booking decision, my eyes do the same thing, Mr. McMahon. Then with his ears, he will hear everybody chanting best in the world. Reigns told him to shut up. You will tap me out. I would love for you to tap me out. So then Reigns vowed to pick up his spoiled ass and boom him through the mat. He said he doesn't stand a chance with him on Friday. He called the nearly 50-year-old son, as he said, when you're in the ring with me, you have two left feet, Shane. He said when he's done with Shane, he'll whip Drew McIntyre's ass at Stomping Ground 2 weeks from now. So not only did WWE make me laugh at the fact and the sight of Shane McMahon tapping out Roman Reigns on Friday, being the first time ever Roman Reigns would tap out on WWE programming, but WWE got us ready for our bathroom break in 2 weeks at Stomping Ground because we're getting a WrestleMania rematch with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, folks. Nobody wanted to see it at WrestleMania, and now we got to see it 2 weeks from now at Stomping Ground with Drew McIntyre coming on out, saying he doesn't like Texas's attitude. Drew said everything Shane said is 100% correct, plus he's going to end him at Stomping Ground. End him meaning end Roman Reigns, because he did such a great job of that in 6 minutes at WrestleMania, right? Awesome. I don't give a shit. So, Drew says they're going to take him out right now without his partners, meaning the Usos. Then the Revival attack. Roman Reigns from behind. The Usos charged out for a quick save. And we're off to the running with another generic 6-man tag to open Monday Night Raw. Now, believe it or not, I do have one positive in this. I do have one positive in all of this. I barely watched the match because I just don't give a shit. But I do have one positive in all this. I love the fact that the Revival were used here in a tag team match with Drew McIntyre. I love the fact that the Revival were on the receiving end of a fucking win here to open Monday Night Raw. I love the fact that WWE used the Revival in this situation, and it looked like they were used to the best of their ability here. I don't know. I'm speaking positive about something WWE did here. I know I'm blowing your fucking mind. But I think WWE used the Revival very well in this situation. It was a good position and situation for them to be in. That's more of what I want to see from the Revival. Now, this match ended up being 14 minutes, and the Revival, this was actually pretty decent at the end. Drew, on the outside, gave Roman Reigns a Claymore kick. Now, one of the Usos was going up top. I think he was going for a big splash. I don't remember who it was. Shane McMahon interfered behind the referee's back. He knocked the Uso off the top turnbuckle, overcomes Roman Reigns to, get his hands on Shane McMahon. Drew McIntyre out of right field delivers a Claymore kick, takes Roman Reigns out of it completely. So that Claymore kick took Roman Reigns out, and the Revival gave Jay a shatter machine at ringside. Then Drew in the ring gave Jimmy a Claymore kick, and the heels win going into Jeddah. Unbelievable. So that ending was pretty good, and the Revival have a W next to their name over the Usos and Roman Reigns. Can't get any better than that if you're Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. Didn't mean anything to me. I'm not excited for Friday. It is what it is. Oh well. Moving on here, man. We got The Miz coming out for a Miz TV segment. This was a complete waste of everybody's time. Lance Armstrong, the cheater. WWE highlighting cheaters on their programming. Lance Armstrong and Matthew McConaughey, who, if you watch Family Guy, Stewie says is one of the worst actors of our generation. And Miz TV, like I said, wasted everybody's time because this didn't accomplish anything. He was supposed to sit down Seth Rollins here. Miz sat Rollins down. He brought up Paul Heyman saying Lesnar's going to cash in. Seth said Miz is assuming Heyman is going to tell the truth. Seth then says he couldn't remember Heyman ever telling the truth, so he'll believe it when he sees it. Miz said that potential of a cash-in is weighing on his mind. He could see it. Seth then shifted to talking about being a fighting champion on Friday, so he had to focus on stomping Baron Corbin's head into the mat. He said there isn't one person who likes Corbin. I'm going to raise my hand and agree with Mr. Seth Rollins. Fans began chanting, "Burn it down," and then they cut to the Titantron, and a black SUV rolls into the arena. Out comes Paul Heyman with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and out comes Brock Lesnar. So they are here. And at this point, I'm thinking, I doubt we get a cash-in. WWE really hyped this up, and they put out that Stephanie McMahon promo on Twitter, which didn't make any sense. They hyped up the fact that Brock Lesnar was cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase tonight, and they didn't really do anything outside of the ordinary to make me believe that this was going to be a big match on tonight's show. So I'm thinking, A, I doubt there's a cash-in. B, if Brock Lesnar is there, I doubt we even get a match. It'll be another bait and switch. Or maybe Brock Lesnar just doesn't show up altogether. So all of these situations at this point are running through my head, but here he is with the briefcase. I guess he's going to prove us all wrong. So fans began chanting, "Burn it down." Enter Heyman and Lesnar. Heyman said, "Let's cash it in." They walked to the arena, and they got near the arena entrance, and then they diverted themselves into the locker room, playing mind games with Seth Rollins. And that was pretty much it. That was the end of the segment. So this segment with Miz TV did nothing to get me excited about a championship match, and it did not really portray Seth Rollins in any other light outside of what we've seen from him in previous weeks. A dead segment that offered nothing. The Lucha House Party came to the ring, and I don't know what was happening here. At this point, I didn't know what was going on. And I'm asking myself, well, they just announced Lars Sullivan versus the Lucha House Party for Friday, so why are we getting some sort of a match now on Monday Night Raw? Didn't we get this same scenario 2 weeks in a row now? Didn't we get it at Money in the Bank? Why are we seeing it again? If we didn't give a shit about it then, why are you doing it now in hopes that we give a shit about it after tonight for Friday? I don't understand it. And in this case, Lars Sullivan came down to attack the Lucha House Party, and he was the one on the receiving end of the attack. A triple dropkick knocked him out of the ring. WWE announcers made it a thing to mention that he wasn't knocked off his feet. But who gives a shit? I didn't give a shit about it then. I don't give a shit about it now. And the reactions for Lars Sullivan, man. I'm a fan of Lars Sullivan. I've admitted that. I have high hopes for him. I wish him the best of success in WWE. I really do. I think he's got a great look. And when you see him wrestle, and continuously wrestle, you'll appreciate the type of man and big man he is in the ring. You really will. I hope that he has matured over the weeks after him being pulled from NXT. But the reaction to Lars Sullivan is a very depressing one, man. I don't really know what it is. I hope to God it's not the people reacting to him because of the comments that he made. I doubt it's that. I don't know how many people are clued in on that. But I honestly think this is WWE's fault. And just like Lacey Evans, they had Lacey Evans parade out there dancing around, strutting around for 4 months. And that didn't do anything to get anybody excited. WWE's doing the same thing. Having Lars Sullivan come out in these random attacks. We haven't seen anything from him in the ring. I think people right now want to see this guy legitimately wrestle. The fact that WWE has trotted him out there for weeks now, months, and nothing has been accomplished. He hasn't even had his first match yet. We haven't seen a true ring entrance from Lars Sullivan yet. How can anyone get behind that? I'm no WWE writer, but I feel like if WWE put this guy in weeks and weeks and weeks of matches, beating different guys on the roster, leading to him fighting 3 guys on Friday at Super Showdown, it would have looked a little bit better. Now WWE has wasted everybody's time. He hasn't gotten a full match yet, and nobody cares. Because what the fans see is the same shit over and over and over again, and their interest, if any, is gone. I think they fucked Lars Sullivan, and it may be too little too late. And that would be a damn shame for a guy that talented. Backstage, the Iconics were making fun of Nikki Cross, just like I make fun of the Iconics every single week. They're fucking terrible. In walks Alexa Bliss. They were making fun of Nikki Cross for being short, by the way. In comes Alexa Bliss. The Iconics were being as optimistic and happy as ever with themselves because they're the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions for the women. I don't know what type of accolade that is, but you're touting something that A, you don't deserve, B, you've lost more than you won. So how could you look back on the reign and be happy with it if all you've done is lost? I don't get it. Which makes me believe it's another cheap shot at Mercedes. Oh! Man, let me take a sip here. Hold on. Poor Sasha Banks changing her name on Instagram to her real name. What did I tell you guys on Friday? Yes, Sasha Banks met with Vince McMahon, but nothing was accomplished. There you go. Look at her Instagram. Mercedes. She ain't Sasha Banks anymore. I don't know what that means, but interpret that as you will. Just letting you guys know. Bliss says nobody likes her. Yes, that is very true. I don't like you. I don't like you, never liked you. Maybe at NXT, but on the main roster? Nikki says she doesn't care about her past because she's been nothing but kind to her since she arrived. What is this split personality Becky Lynch? Is this nice? Oh, not Becky Lynch, Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross, is this split personality? Maybe Becky Lynch could use a fucking split personality. I mean, her decline is... Nikki Cross, is this a split personality Nikki Cross in this situation? Good Nikki and then evil Nikki? I don't like good Nikki. They're portraying her as almost an equal to Alexa Bliss. I want to see the rugged, I don't give a fuck Nikki Cross. Seems like WWE, A, either doesn't give a shit, or B, blatantly changed Nikki Cross's character coming up from NXT. Either way, I don't like it. Bliss says she appreciated the kind of things that Nikki Cross had to say, and she told her that not to be bashful, and if you need a favor, just ask. So together, she says they will take on the Iconics. But tonight, it's just Nikki Cross versus Peyton Royce. But Bliss says she will be in Nikki Cross's corner, doing nothing I assumed. And that is exactly what we got. Moving on here, man. Becky Lynch comes on out. By the way, I have to mention this because I fucking need to. If Becky Lynch shows up on Tuesday and she is on SmackDown Live, I will be a very irritated JD. We don't need to see whatever happened here on Tuesday night. There are others on this roster that certainly deserve a spot on SmackDown Live. How about the War Raiders? How about Buddy Murphy? How about Cedric Alexander? How about a Ricochet? We don't need to see Becky and Charlotte and Lacey all over again on SmackDown Live when this completely shit the bed on Monday Night Raw. So Becky's out there. She says she's been thinking and wants to make some changes. I wish WWE Corporate would make some changes and remove the old man from his position. She said when she got home this past weekend, it was the first time in 63 days. She talked about her busy schedule during that time. She's never been more content in her life, but she won't let complacency affect her because that's the worst thing that could happen to a successful person. Just ask Vince McMahon. Complacency running wild on Monday Night Raw. She said Lacey's interference at Money in the Bank was a wake-up call. I wish AEW was that same wake-up call to Vince McMahon. She said there's no one in this business who can keep her down. She says if you have wronged her in any way, you will pay. Then Lacey Evans comes on out. My interest in this entire segment takes a fucking... Lacey comes on out. Says Becky is just like a dog chasing a car. And like a dog, she wouldn't know what to do with it if she caught it. She said Becky Two Belts shouldn't be the face to represent the women of WWE. Becky then says, why don't you come in here and I'm going to rip your arm off. Lacey said she's not in her head and she's not to be messed with. She said that she did beat her at Money in the Bank, but she's the reason that she walked out of Money in the Bank with only one title. She said when she gets her hands on her again, she will become Becky No Belts. Ha 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 ha! Man, what a great response. How long did it take you to come up with that one? She said she won't let another woman like her represent her division. She vowed to be the next Raw Women's Champion and to put everybody to sleep when that reign becomes an inevitability. Charlotte then comes on out in full ring gear, by the way. Now, I think WWE wanted us to believe that Charlotte wasn't going to wrestle because this wasn't an advertised match, but here she is in her robe and in her wrestling gear. So are we to believe that Charlotte wasn't supposed to wrestle because of what happened here? Or am I to believe that Charlotte walks around everywhere wearing her wrestling gear and her robe doing woo? Does she go to the supermarket and buy organic beans in her fucking robe and her wrestling gear? Maybe, I don't know. Does she go to the bank to cash those big Saudi checks wearing the robe? Maybe, I don't know. But she comes on out in full wrestling gear. She bragged that Becky lost and she became a 9-time women's champion. You got a nice little golf clap from me, Charlotte. Who gives a shit? Seriously. 9 reigns, not one of them memorable. There have been memorable matches. There have been memorable matches with Charlotte and Becky, but not one reign that you could go back to that is memorable. Don't at me, clowns. It doesn't exist. Charlotte said that she may not be SmackDown champion. Lacey interrupted and says, what are you doing out here? You're strutting like a peacock. She then says she's daddy's girl who needs all the attention. Or a daddy's girl who needs the attention. Charlotte entered the ring and she asked either one of them to hold the ropes. Nobody held the ropes. Charlotte then says she struts like a peacock because she's more than halfway there to beating her dad's 16 world title record. Again, not one reign that is memorable. And it's not the amount of championships that you've won. Because at the end of the day, You lost just as many as you won. It's what you do in those reigns. I doubt a Charlotte reign for 2 minutes at Money in the Bank is going to be looked at as a huge statistic that is actually one with meaning. God awful. I don't know if that's the first time that they ever made mention of that, but clearly that was done on purpose. You know where WWE is going with this. That record will be broken in the next 2 years. Easy. She said, all Lacey has done so far is make tea. Please, I'll take mine lightly sweetened. Lacey said Charlotte has 0 championships today. Hopefully that stays that way. And that's just coming from me. She didn't say that. That's coming from me. Hopefully it stays that way. And thus is yesterday's news. Whereas she is the new face of WWE. She told her to run along to SmackDown or else she could educate her with a women's rights. So we get this match out of nowhere. They start attacking each other. And who gives a shit? Really, who gives a shit? I didn't want this match. It was unadvertised. I didn't ask for it. We're getting it anyway. This match was so terrible. Lacey Evans and Charlotte were not on the same page for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. If Charlotte Flair cannot bring a good match out of Lacey Evans, then I don't think Lacey Evans deserves getting title shots. That's just my 2 cents on that. Becky Lynch was out by ringside, folks. Becky Lynch was out there at ringside watching this match, holding the Raw Women's Championship. She watched this match go on for 10 minutes, and then in the 10th minute, she decides to come on in and deliver her finishing move to, I don't know who it was. Becky attacked Charlotte, and the bell rung, and I believe she gave Lacey Evans the manhandle slam. Man, the creative in WWE is on top of its game, man. They must be getting a lot accomplished over there in Stamford, Connecticut. The manhandle slam. And by the way, can someone fill me in on this? I don't know if I'm just being overly critical, but if Becky Lynch wanted to do that all along, did she have to really punish us by having us watch 10 minutes of this fucking garbage? If that was the plan all along, why didn't she do that in the first minute? You would have saved us a terrible match, you would have saved Lacey Evans the embarrassment, and you would have saved Charlotte from trying so hard to get someone over that clearly is not ready. Took her 10 minutes to finally do the interference and cause this match, clearly, to be a no contest. Because Charlotte wasn't losing, and Lacey wasn't losing. A complete waste of our time. That was one of the worst TV matches that you'll probably see all year on Monday Night Raw. Awful. So for all the Lacey stands out there, hang your hat and drink your fucking tea on that one. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. When you're quick to judge Becky Lynch about being bad in the ring, Lacey Evans was in the ring with one of the best fucking workers in the company. Rey Mysterio made his way to the ring. He made his way to the ring. He had his arm in a sling. And he's out there to relinquish the United States Championship. They showed Rey pinning Joe, even though Joe's shoulders were clearly off the mat. Rey says he wants to do the right thing as a man and as a champion to set a good example for his son. So he was interrupted almost immediately. Samoa Joe came out. And Joe, in the best way possible. I love Joe. I really do. He is the biggest fucking prick you could possibly ask for, and it brings a huge smile to my face. Joe came out and asked if he came out too early and ruined his big moment. He asked for forgiveness because he knows what this means to Rey Mysterio. Then Joe says, I heard the word champion and I thought it was my cue to come on out. I LOL'd big time. Joe is a dick and I love it. So he says Rey can continue this moment because it's very important to him. He told Rey not to ruin this one golden opportunity by telling people a lie. He says he's relinquishing the title because he's never actually pinned him. My shoulders never touched the mat, Rey. So then Rey told Joe not to get it twisted. He says he doesn't want a moment and he's not here to fool anybody. He says this is not the moment he wanted it to be. He says he's won championships his entire career through pain and injury, so he's man enough to do what he came to do tonight. And Joe let him speak. So Rey Mysterio says, and I quote, "Due to my current shoulder injury at Money in the Bank, I'm here to relinquish my United States Championship." And what do? Are they going to put the title on the line in a match, in a ladder match, maybe a fatal four-way, maybe have a tournament? Rey says, "I'm here to relinquish my United States Championship to Samoa Joe." Rey Mysterio sets the belt down right in front of Samoa Joe. Joe picks it up. Rey says, "You can pick it up right there," instead of handing it to him. Joe picks up the title. And as Rey Mysterio began to leave the ring, arm still in a sling, by the way, Joe catches him and puts him in the coquina clutch, and that was pretty much it. Joe came off as a big fucking prick. I love it. Rey Mysterio relinquished the United States Championship as advertised, but it wasn't the right decision, folks. This is WWE Uncreative 101. So, I would love to know, and I'm going to say this in the most calm demeanor possible because there's no reason for me to yell. This is Vince McMahon, by the way, that we're talking about. So, what we do now in sports-like competitions is said champion is injured, so we relinquish the title and give it back to the guy who lost the title previously without any competitive aspect to crown a new champion, whomever that champion may be. IC champion, tag team champion, women's champion, in this case, the United States Championship. This is what we do now. We just give champions away, or championships away, to somebody else with no fucking match to determine said new champion. Meanwhile, WWE posted on social media, who would you like to see the WWE United States Champion? Cesaro, maybe a Ricochet, Samoa Joe. They actually tweeted that there could be some competitive aspect to this shit, being that they got somewhat of a decent mid-card on Monday Night Raw, and WWE does the one thing that I wished and hoped that they didn't do, and they go ahead and do it. Would it have been so difficult? Here I am raising my voice. Would it have been so difficult for WWE to come up with some sort of idea to make the United States Championship look somewhat important? To maybe build a mid-card talent and give them a nice little run and a spotlight and make the championship and talent seem important. How important is the United States Championship to WWE if they have Rey Mysterio trot out there and just give it away to the guy who he lost to, fair and square, by the way, no matter if his shoulder was up or not? Referee's decision is final, apparently, in pro wrestling. Even though his shoulder was up, that doesn't mean, well, you're injured now, it's my title again. How does that look? How does WWE value the United States Championship? How does WWE value their performers? They don't. What a fucking joke. A complete missed opportunity from WWE. I'm not surprised. I'm very sad. And I don't want it to be this way. I wish WWE had some sort of a creative way to go about it. But this was just another segment on a 3-hour show that should have been important, but wasn't. And Rey Mysterio uttered, "I'm not done, you'll see me again." I hope we don't. You have a contract that lets you out in 18 months when you sign 2 years. I wish you'd leave and go down to Jacksonville. You've been nothing but a fucking pushover and an afterthought in WWE. They clearly, they only wanted you to keep you away from what's going on right now. And here you are, injury after injury after injury, shitty storyline after shitty storyline after shitty storyline. Unreal. Joe looks like a heel. Yes, he took the title back from Rey Mysterio. Whatever. It's not the way the United States Championship should have been spotlighted. A huge missed opportunity for WWE. What I want you guys not to miss is the opportunity to support Ridge. Ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off the script. Now, proudly sponsored by The Ridge. You know, one of the more difficult things for me to do is go out and shop for a wallet. I'm not the type of guy that's going to go out and buy a designer wallet and spend all this types of money on something with some stupid brand name logo on it. I'm not that type of guy. I usually go into the mall. I walk into Hot Topic. Oh, this Legend of Zelda wallet looks cool. Oh, this Metallica wallet looks cool. Oh, this Super Mario wallet looks cool. I'm that type of guy because it's very indicative of me and my personality and my interests. Now, I want you guys to look in your wallet. Better yet, I want you to go out for an afternoon with your father, and I want you to take a very close look at his wallet, because I know I did the same thing. I know my dad did the same thing. Look in your wallet. What do you have in your wallet right now? What does your dad have in his wallet right now? Guarantee you have old receipts for when you took the wife out for dinner 3 months ago for your anniversary. Guarantee you got old hotel room keys in your wallet. Guarantee you got business cards and contact numbers on some small piece of paper that you don't even remember who they are or where you were when you exchanged this information. You're looking at your dad and you're thinking to yourself, I gotta get my dad a new wallet for Father's Day. I present to you, right here on Off the Script, the Ridge Wallet. It was actually created by a father and son team. There's the Father's Day correlation. A father and son team who value reliability in their everyday gear. They're making everyday goods that turn the things that you carry, like backpacks, chargers, wallets, into tools for better living. The flagship product of the Ridge is indeed the Ridge Wallet. It was launched on a Kickstarter in 2013 and now sits in the front pockets of 750,000 men and women, including myself. And I want you guys to think about your fathers on this coming Father's Day. Over 30,000 five-star reviews, and it's more than likely what your dad will love this Father's Day. When he thinks of Father's Day and the gifts that he's gotten, he's going to remember that you got him the Ridge wallets. If he doesn't like it, 45 days you have to return the wallet if he does not like the product. The Ridge wallet was actually started by Daniel Kane and his dad, Paul, proof that the utility of the minimalist wallet can span generations. Now, I want you guys to look closely at the screen that you see right here on Off the Script. You guys can save 10% off today with worldwide free shipping by going to ridge.com/scripts. Once again, that's ridge.com/script. Use the code SCRIPT. Link is down in the description below. There's a lifetime warranty. If your dad does not love it, again, free returns in case he doesn't. It comes in titanium, carbon fiber, aluminum, and over a dozen different styles and colors. I got the titanium because I love it and it feels fantastic. Once again, guys, free worldwide shipping this Father's Day, 10% off, ridge.com/script. Continuing with this atrocious Monday Night Raw. Yawn. Oh my God, yawn. Strowman. Oh. Man, just talking about him's putting me in a fucking coma. Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley in an arm wrestling contest, folks. Yes, you heard me correctly. I did not stutter. An arm wrestling contest. Now, I know how terrible that sounds, but this segment was terrible, but I will go on and at least talk about one positive in this segment. I know. It's a shock, right? This was awful. And Bobby Lashley has the fucking charisma of a fucking number 2 pencil. But what he did in this arm wrestling contest was very impressive. Now, the guy is terrible. He's just so god-awful. He might as well reincarnate Duke the Dumpster Drosy's gimmick and be a fucking trash man because he's fucking garbage. But in the arm wrestling contest, they had a nice little back and forth, and then Lashley, his hand slips out. I don't know if he did it on purpose. He more than likely did it on purpose because he's a heel. His arm slips out. His hand slips out. He powders his hand. And he goes back at it. He eventually loses after some back and forth with Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman's there celebrating. Lashley takes the chalk powder that he just put all over his hands, and he threw it in Braun Strowman's face. Braun Strowman was blinded, lifts up Braun Strowman, and like a fucking cruiserweight, delivers Braun Strowman's own finishing move and power slams Braun Strowman in the middle of the ring. That was pretty impressive. I'm not saying Bobby Lashley is not a great athlete. I'm just saying that he's fucking terrible. And he's got no charisma. Roman Reigns has more charisma than Bobby Lashley. That is just as depressing in itself. Did this get you excited for their match on Friday in Jeddah? The answer is no. What I will be doing on Friday is, being that the show is at 2 p.m., I'll still probably be half asleep, so I'll walk to the deli, get myself what will probably be my fourth coffee for the day, and not watch it because I just don't give a shit. Moving on. The 24/7 title was defended over the weekend. I'm not sure if you guys realize that on social media. Well, JD, they got over 4 million views on the 24/7 title on social media on YouTube. Congratulations, you fucking clown. Would you like a fucking cookie? What does views on social media have to do with Monday Night Raw? Nothing. It means nothing. The title's a joke. And there are people in the community who are laughing over the fact that this shit is still just littering our TVs in nonsensical fashion. Happened over the weekend. If you missed it, I won't blame you. Someone sent it to me. One of my friends sent it to me. I didn't even realize it was happening. That's how much I fucking care. 24/7 title was defended. They showed a clip that happened on YouTube over the weekend on a golf course with R-Truth and Carmella. Now, in this game of golf, Jinder Mahal apparently plays golf in his fucking wrestling gear. He pinned and sneak attacked R-Truth on the golf course and won the 24/7 title and was champion for about 7 seconds. Then R-Truth attacks him, rolls him up again, and reclaims the title and drives away in the golf cart. But what I'm asking is, why is Jinder Mahal on the golf course in his wrestling gear? I understand the referee. You need an official referee wearing an official uniform to count the 3 for said clown championship. But Jinder Mahal in his wrestling gear on a golf course, would it have been so difficult to dress this guy in some slacks, pair of Nikes, and a polo shirt? Seriously. Who the fuck is on a golf course in their wrestling gear? Make it somewhat realistic, please. Or is Jinder Mahal like Charlotte? Does he fill up his fucking gas at Shell wearing wrestling gear? I don't understand it. Does he walk the dog wearing wrestling gear? Fucking ridiculous. Now you know why I shit all over the 24/7 title. It's fucking ridiculous. So after this, they show Drake Maverick and EC3 backstage. EC3 looks like he wants a gun to blow his brains out. That's how fucking upset and depressed he looks on Monday Night Raw. Brother, I don't blame you at all. I understand your pain. Imagine how we feel having to watch this garbage and having to watch you buried every single week. Awful. So they're looking for R-Truth. They're looking around for R-Truth. Ooh. Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. This was one-on-one between Peyton Royce and Nikki Cross. This one went 6 minutes. I'd be lucky if I watched 15 seconds of this. This was terrible. This was awful. All I needed to hear was the announcers pretty much go on and on and on and on. And they didn't really do anything as it pertains to me to lift my head up from my fucking iPad and watch what was going on in the ring. Nikki Cross ends up beating a distracted Royce with her neck breaker. And that was it. Now, in the middle of this match, Alexa Bliss had someone deliver her coffee. They had someone deliver Alexa Bliss coffee. I would be interested in, A, what type of coffee she was drinking. Was it a latte? Was it a chai? Was it a caramel macchiato? Was it an Americano? Really, what kind of coffee was it? Did it have soy milk, almond milk, coconut milk, skim milk, 2% milk, whole milk? What type of milk did you use? Was there enough foam? Did you use a flavoring? Vanilla, caramel, peppermints. How about some Valencia? Old Starbucks fucking goons like me remember the Valencia flavor. What type of fucking flavor was it? Fucking Peyton Royce is in the ring, distracted by Alexa Bliss drinking coffee on the outside. Billy Kay knocks the coffee out of Alexa Bliss's hand, and by the way, Alexa Bliss is wearing white pants. Nice visual for you guys there, too. So Alexa Bliss spills her coffee, thanks to Billy Kay on the outside. Now she's got white pants stained in coffee. And Nikki Cross wins and beats one half of the tag team champions on yet another week in which the tag team champions lose another match. Alexa Bliss spills coffee, she dirties her pants, and stains her white pants, and that's the only thing that is of note in this particular sequence. Awful. Absolutely awful. Sean Ross Sapp, brother, I'm going to take something from you. You said something that was very witty, and I agree with you 100% on social media, folks. If you're not following Fightful and watching their coverage of Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, Sean and Alex do a fantastic job. Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter says that Alexa Bliss is the female version of Orange Cassidy at this point. I couldn't agree more. Alexa Bliss is fucking terrible. Salrex, brother, I know you're watching. He just sent me. I have my DMs open here because he's doing the thumbnail for me. What's up, brother? Salrex sent me this Roman viewer repellent, guaranteed to send fans anywhere else but WWE. Awesome. There you go. Nice little plug there for the Roman viewer repellent. If it was sold, I'd buy it. Anyway, moving on here. Seth is in the ring again for a second time, and one of my pet peeves is having someone come out more than once on the same show. This is Seth Rollins now twice, with a much weaker reaction than the first time. So he's in the ring. He's waiting for Brock Lesnar, apparently. He's in the ring. Lesnar's music came on. He didn't come out. And everybody's fear of not a cash-in is going through everybody's heads. Seth is thinking that Lesnar's playing games. He's sick of it. He addressed Lesnar through the camera. He looked into the camera. He said, he used to be one of the most feared men on earth. He said, now he's just a shell of his former self. He dared him to come on out and keep his promise and cash in the contract right here, right now. Baron Corbin comes on out. Corbin walked out and says, Seth, you need to focus on me. I'm the guy who retired Kurt Angle, and I have no problem retiring your ass, too. So he poked Seth Rollins in the chest. Seth smiled. Then he smashed Corbin in the mouth with the microphone. They brawled. It ended up with Corbin giving Seth Rollins an end of days. And that was that. Then out comes Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman walk out with the briefcase in hand. Lesnar entered the ring with a chair. He gave Seth Rollins a wicked low blow. And Seth definitely had that one coming after what happened in the previous encounters with Brock Lesnar. Smashed his back with the steel chair. Then he gave him a German suplex, tossed him to the floor, gave him an F5 on the floor. And it was just a massive beatdown. Chairs, F5s, German suplexes, Heyman's yelling all the while, cash it in now, what are you doing? Lesnar gave Seth German suplexes. Lesnar then leaned over the rope and says, Friday. I'll continue this Monday Night Raw review on Friday. I'll see you guys later. Friday. He took the Universal title. He lifted it up, threw it on Seth Rollins. Heyman then pleaded with Lesnar to cash it in. Lesnar then grabbed the briefcase, went into the... Which, by the way, it was not the boombox version. It was the regular briefcase this time because apparently it's illegal to dress up the fucking Money in the Bank briefcase. Meanwhile, we had individual superstars dress up the World Championship to their own liking. Brahma Bull, Smoking Skull, Spinner, Rated R. Now, but it's wrong for Brock Lesnar to dress up the briefcase as a boombox. Fuck out of here. So he takes the briefcase and he smashes it over the back of Seth Rollins, and that was it. A gurney comes on out. They carried Seth away, and that was it. In the gurney, They show Becky Lynch there by his side. They both get into the gurney, and the gurney drives away. Or the ambulance, rather, drives away. A few things here, folks. A, where was Roman Reigns? Does Seth Rollins have no friends on Monday Night Raw? Out of everybody on the roster watching this beatdown, Roman Reigns, with the history of Brock Lesnar, is allowing his best friend to be beat up. Where was Roman? Does Seth have no friends on Monday Night Raw? Where are the officials during this beatdown? Not one fucking person peeked their head out through the curtain in Gorilla. No Fit Finlay. There was no fucking Billy Kidman. There was nobody. Nobody came out. No Abyss. No Sanjay Dutt. None of these. No Jeff Jarrett. Where's everybody? Where's all the agents? Where's all the guys backstage? Not one fucking agent. Not one official. Nobody. No one in power came out to stop their Universal Champion from being beaten up. And the most obvious of fucking things here to complain about, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar has the champion in a state where you could count to fucking 3,000. Never mind 3. He'd rather cash it in on Friday. He's got a fucking official out there ready to go. He's got the briefcase and a down champion who's got more than likely broken ribs and is bleeding from the back of the head. He'd rather cash it in on Friday. I don't know whether Brock Lesnar cashed in the fucking briefcase or his fucking idiot card. Are you fucking kidding me? Brock Lesnar looks like the biggest fucking schmuck in all of WWE. Friday! We'll do it Friday! The guy's bleeding profusely on the mat, but we'll do it Friday! Are you fucking kidding me? Now, why was this done Friday? Or why is this rather going to be done Friday and not tonight after WWE promised us we were going to get a championship match? Why did Stephanie McMahon make those fucking comments? Where was Stephanie McMahon during all this? You want to make illogical fucking comments, and then you have your Universal Champion get beaten to a bloody fucking pulp on Monday Night Raw. Where the fuck were you then? Oh, he will suffer the consequences. Apparently, Seth Rollins suffered the consequences. Brock Lesnar didn't do anything wrong. He looked like a fucking idiot, but he didn't do anything wrong. He can cash in whenever he wants. Friday, Paul is saying, well, I promised her today. You know why this was done? Because WWE did the good old Saudi bait and switch. What do I mean by that? Well, Seth Rollins won the WWE Universal Championship from Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. They had absolutely no opponent lined up for Seth Rollins in Saudi Arabia. So they gave you a fucking match just to get the advertisement out there that Seth Rollins would be defending the title against Baron fucking Corbin, of all fucking people. Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins. They needed something for the advertisement for Friday in Jeddah. Nobody was interested in that match. Who the fuck was interested in a Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin match? I could poll 100 people, and 0 would be the answer. So they gave you an advertised match, knowing weeks before that match was even announced or planned, knowing that Seth Rollins was not going to be in Saudi Arabia. So what they did tonight is simply write Seth Rollins off TV. He'll probably relinquish the title. He won't show up. Champion can't make the defense. Stephanie will take the title, or Triple H, or whomever. Vince McMahon will take the title. They'll put the title on the line. I guarantee you this is what's going to happen. They're going to take the title. They're going to put the title on the line in Saudi Arabia. He's going to beat Corbin. He's going to be the Universal Champion. He's still going to be the fucking Money in the Bank briefcase holder. He's going to cash in on Kofi, and he's going to win both titles in Saudi Arabia. I guarantee you that's what they're going to do. I guarantee you that is what they're going to do. They knew Seth Rollins was never going to make Saudi Arabia, so they've written him off TV. They've written him off TV. How many of you vomited everything you had for dinner tonight just at the fucking mere words that I just uttered? Oh, my goodness, man. I love my job, man. I love disappointing everybody with the fucking bullshit that you are watching, but you might not be thinking of in that moment. Awful. Brock Lesnar is going to walk out of Jeddah, not only the Universal Champion, but he's going to walk out of Jeddah, the WWE and Universal Champion. Oh, my goodness. The good old bait and switch by WWE. They knew all along Seth Rollins was not going to make Saudi Arabia. He either declined, he didn't want to go over there, or WWE, had an instance in which Becky wasn't allowed over there as their Raw Women's Champion. Maybe things fell through. There were rumors that WWE was going to have the opportunity for one women's match. Becky would probably be a part of that against Natty, I heard, or something along those lines. There were rumors about the women wrestling this year. It's probably going to happen eventually, but maybe Seth is sitting out because Becky was not allowed over there and he doesn't want to go over there without Becky. I don't know. Maybe Becky didn't want Seth going over there and he declined going over there. So they wrote him off television and he's going to relinquish the title. And Brock Lesnar and Baron Corbin are going to be one-on-one for the title. And Lesnar's going to win that and cash in the briefcase on Kofi. But man, the bait and switch is real with WWE. This is 3 weeks in a row where they promised something and they did not deliver. How many times can you do that before the fans say, enough is enough, fuck this shit? And if the WWE fans are sick of the product now, wait till you see Brock Lesnar holding more gold than he's ever held before just because of the Fox Sports deal in October. People are going to be pissed. People are going to be pissed. Another thing I didn't like in this situation was the fact that they had Becky Lynch escort Seth Rollins or walk with Seth Rollins while he was strapped to the gurney, and they loaded him into the ambulance. I don't like the fact that they're portraying Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch on screen together. So that was a little weird there, which kind of lent, me saying what I said tonight. Maybe that is the case. I don't know why they're portraying Rollins and Becky Lynch on screen as a couple. Who gives a shit? So, WWE right now, I don't know what they're doing or where they're going, but I would not be surprised at all what is going to happen. If I'm right, I put it out there in the open. I put that out there in the atmosphere, in the universe. We'll see what happens, man. I hope to God not. I hope to God I am completely wrong on this every step of the way. Firefly Funhouse said this was the narrator here said that the episode you're about to see is a very special episode of the Firefly Funhouse. They went to a close-up of Bray Wyatt, who said he had a serious message. He then broke into a smile, and he wanted to talk about exercise. Exercise. Some of you fucking geeks and cretins on social media that hide behind an egg or an anonymous profile picture with the name Seth 98766666563. Maybe you needed some exercise. So we get the Firefly Funhouse about exercise. Kids cheering could be heard. I know. Kids cheering could be heard. Bray was dressed in fucking athletic pants and a sleeveless shirt that said Wyatt Gym. They showed a pig eating a chocolate bar. I prefer me some dark chocolate myself. But this pig was named... What was his name? I forgot his name. What the fuck was his name? I didn't write it down in my notes. Huskus? I think his name was Huskus. The pig's name was Huskus. Showed a pig eating fucking chocolate. His name was Huskus. Bray says he doesn't take very good care of himself. Bray kneeled and said, some say all of his gluttony is going to bite him in the tail, but one day he could be great and people will tell him he's a genius and that he has the whole world in his hands. Then he looked into the camera and in walked a fucking Vince McMahon doll. A Vince McMahon doll walked in and knocked on the door to the Firefly Funhouse. He opened the door. Bray was like, "Whoa, boss!" And Vince McMahon was portrayed with devil horns. I never seen anything more accurately portrayed on WWE television than I did tonight in the Firefly Funhouse. Vince McMahon in puppet form wearing devil horns, cursing at Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt then vowed, Huskus, that he will get his act together. Bray then danced and sang along to what looked to be a muscle man routine. kind of making fun at Vince McMahon doing the whole, it looked like a Vince McMahon singing some fucking cheesy 80s music video skit, playing some air guitar or whatever the fuck he was doing, but it looked very 80s-ish. You got Huskers there dancing, you got fucking Abby the Witch shaking her head no, as if it's fucking ridiculous. Vince McMahon's dancing around doing some exercise. So they got this whole psychedelic, this funky vibe going on with the Firefly Funhouse. Then they turned it back into Bray, and he said, erase your mind. Everything stopped. Back to the Playhouse. Bray said they're ready for a night out in the town because they exercised. Bray says he will always be the light. He's going to light the way, and all they have to do is let him in. He flexed very Hulk Hogan-ish, flexing his muscles, very Hulk Hogan-like, and they faded to black. I don't know what this means, but it was clearly the most entertaining thing on a very garbage Monday Night Raw, but I genuinely don't know where this is going. I don't. It's entertaining, and some people would rather just be, or rather it just be this every week. But I honestly feel like it's gone on enough. It's entertaining, don't get me wrong. I honestly feel that Bray Wyatt needs to be, in the ring. I honestly feel like Bray needs to be in the ring. I don't want something to go on and drag on for too long before we start not caring. This is great. I'm sure this has a lot of inside innuendos, the ode to Husky Harris and Vince McMahon coming in and telling Husky Harris to lose weight. This is all typical things that you hear in the dirt sheets from Vince McMahon, knocking people's weight and lose weight, and then we'll push you, speak English, and then we'll push you. This is just going on. It's riddled in truth, or it's riddled with truth, the Firefly Funhouse. This episode in particular, and it brought to light what he had to go through. And I appreciate that. Husky Harris, Bray Wyatt didn't look all that great early on. Husky Harris looked awful. That was a terrible gimmick. He lost some weight. He was very husky. He turned into the Bray Wyatt character. He made a nice little fucking character for himself. They dropped the ball. And now here he is again, praised by everybody. You're going to be a genius one day. You're going to have the whole world in your hands. And I feel like it was an inside WWE thing where he was told time and time again, you got to lose some weight, dude. You got to get in shape, and then we'll talk about portraying you on television. So it had more so to do with, I feel, him as a person and him with his body type and all the negativity that came surrounding that. So you could see, watching all these in continuous form, Bray Wyatt has had a lot to battle back from. Bray Wyatt has had a lot to battle through to get to where he is now. And I love the fact that he's portraying this in the Firefly Funhouse. It's a very, I would say, creative concept, but how long are we going to go on with this? Seriously. This is all great. His creativity, he is a genius. A lot of people said he is one of the most brilliant minds that there is in the WWE locker room. But enough is enough. We got to get him in the ring, and we got to see this portrayed in the ring now. Because you do this too many more times, it's going to be something where the fans are just going to be like, enough. Triple H made his way to the ring. Orton came out. Triple H says that they are here to drum up interest in a fight. He is, speaking of Orton, Orton comes out. Orton is standing there, and he said the hope is that they'll say horrible things about each other and maybe some physicality will break out. But with everything they've been through, there's nothing that they can really say that hasn't been said already. He said he won't waste his time. But he says it's been a while since they stood and looked at each other, but don't let the suit fool him. I am coming to Jeddah to kick your ass. By the way, when Triple H came out, huge chance of NXT. Good. I love hearing it. He loves it too, and clearly he wanted to continue, but he had some business to take care of. Orton says that sounds good, but he wants him to understand that he's not Batista. He says he's the legend killer. He says he would gladly beat him this Friday at Super Showdown and put another notch on his belt. Triple H said over their 20 years of battles, they've done unspeakable things to each other. He says he's always predicted Randy would become a diamond in this business, and he is one of the best ever to step foot in the ring. He said he knows what that means. He said a lot of people have tried to put him down, though, and Randy is not the one. So he turned and left, or tried to leave the ring. Randy said, hold up. Triple H, I want you to promise me something. Before you step into the ring with me on Friday to retrieve, or before you step in the ring with me, I want you to retrieve your balls from Stephanie's purse. Again, I LOL'd. Triple H leaned back into the ring, and he smiled. Orton swung his arms like he was getting warmed up for a fight. And Hunter says, that's a hell of an idea. He said he'd do that, but they're just too big, so it's a burden carrying them around. He said maybe he can carry them in a carry-on bag and put them in the overhead bin on the plane to Jeddah. He got in Randy's face and said he wouldn't know about that because you've never had any balls. And then he walks away. Throws the microphone at him and walks away. They both smiled. This was a clear-cut, just direct, straight to the point, no frills promo between these guys, and it worked. I don't give a shit about the match, but it was entertaining for the 7 minutes that they were there. Ricochet versus Cesaro. This one went 10 minutes. In the A, Ricochet wins here. This was pretty much a mixture of the two matches that they've already had. Nothing new here. It was a mixture of the two matches that they've already had in a rubber match. Nobody gave a shit. Ricochet wins in 10 minutes. And Ricochet rolled up Cesaro for the win after what looked to be a botched head scissor. Rolled him up, and that was it. Cole said this is the type of victory that can change a career. Hardly. Afterwards, Cesaro attacked Ricochet from behind. Cole said Cesaro knows how big of a match this was for him. Cesaro then pulled out a ladder. I'm like, ooh, he's pulling out a ladder. He's like, nope, I'm going to put the ladder back. Going to pull out a table. So he pulls out a table. Pulls out a table from underneath the ring, and R-Truth is laying on the table as he slides the table out, upside down, on the legs portion of the table. R-Truth is laying back first, hiding underneath the ring from everybody in the locker room. So then the parade of fucking VIP, Titus Catering goons comes out and chase R-Truth. Cedric Alexander does a running flip on to the outside, takes everybody out. Truth managed to stand in the ring, and Drake Maverick is in the ring, finally face to face with Drake Maverick, the one guy who wants to take the Universal title, the 24/7 title. And Carmella super kicked him, and flyers go all over the place, and they escape through the crowd, and the rest of the VIP goons, catering goons, follow behind. And that was it. The Undertaker made his entrance with 5 minutes left to the show. He got to the ring with 2 minutes left to talk. Talked about facing death for the very first time. Does the sky turn dark? Does the ground begin to ripple at your feet? Or do you choke at the stench of the souls that are already gone? Goldberg, this Friday, you will get the answers to all those questions. He doesn't want the Goldberg, the family man smiling at his wife and the kids watching. He doesn't want his son to be watching there with a smile on his face. I want the iconic version of Goldberg, and I promise you this. If you bring anything less, our first match will be your last. Then that was it. Goldberg, you're next, and USA Network cut Raw off directly, immediately at 11 o'clock. Unbelievable. Are you excited about Jeddah? I'm not. This show was awful, folks. A lot of illogical booking, a lot of logic gaps. I'm sure will be overlooked tomorrow morning when you guys listen to these other fucking clowns in the community cover Monday Night Raw. They're not going to go over what I went over because they're far too inferior to what I do here. This show is fucking terrible. How it is so difficult to book this show is just, it's mind-boggling to me. It really is. I don't understand it. I genuinely don't get it. I'm not excited for Jeddah. They got 2 weeks to build towards Stomping Ground. None of it means anything. It's just TV time for the sake of filling 3 hours on Monday night. I'm not excited about anything. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable how it is night and day from Saturday night to what we see on Monday. NXT TakeOver 25 to what we see Vince McMahon do here on Monday Night Raw. It is awful. Anyway, man, I'm getting out of here. I've been here enough. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up. I will be back on Tuesday with SmackDown Live. As always, I might have an extra for you tomorrow, depending on how I feel. Either way, man, hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys follow me on social media, JD from NY206 on both Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button down below and turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Ridge.com/script. Use code SCRIPT at checkout for 10% off. And if you guys missed this week's videos, man, make sure you guys go and check that out. Links are in the annotation that you see in the top right corner of the screen. I'll see you guys for SmackDown Live. Shitty Monday Night Raw as always. I hope I brightened your evenings or your mornings whenever you're listening to me and spared you 3 hours of watching this fucking garbage for yourselves. I'll do the same thing tomorrow for SmackDown Live. Until then, I will see you for SmackDown Live on Tuesday. Again, hit that thumbs up, guys. And I'll see you all tomorrow for the Blue Brand on USA. Talk to you later.